car was built by Hardee's in California?
That's correct. They made them for about 3 or 4 years. As far as we can tell, they made somewhere between 30 and 40, but about 20 of them, we believe, were shipped to Japan, but there's no factory records, so there's no real way we can tell.
Have you any idea what sort of data sheets they were working from when they made them?
No, they designed the chassis completely themselves. The body was taken from a mould of an original J2X that they found in a barn in mid-America somewhere. The rest they built the strongest chassis they could. It's virtually a box girder chassis, 3x2, probably some places the steel's 1/4 inch thick. And then found, for most cases, the biggest American engine they could find and put it in.
And that's a Chevrolet engine?
The one in this one's a Chevrolet 383 cubic inch. It's been bored, needle, race, camshaft, the whole works, but they put a myriad of American V8s, even the original Fords were put in occasionally. It was very much ordered what you want.
Yeah. The front suspension, the coil front suspension, that's modelled on the original J2?
No, they cheated there. They used either Volkswagen or Porsche 356 front ends. This has got a Porsche 356 front end and disc brakes, which were not original. Originally they used what was called a Bellamy front suspension, which was a split axle and renowned for doing the, I suppose, the Triumph Herald trick of kicking the wheels in.
What about the back axle? What's that?
Back axle in this one is Chev Corvette, straight American diff. This one's unique that most of the, well, all the other Hardy cars were made with automatic transmissions. This one's got a 5-speed Richmond NASCAR gearbox in it.
NASCAR?
Yeah, the same ones they use in the road racing NASCARs when they did that in the States.
Wow. What speed have you had it up to? Like to say?
60 miles an hour.
Oh, well done. Yeah.
Working off the speedo.
I remember when you charged in a second, actually.
They'll get up to 60 in under 5 seconds. They claim top speed of somewhere between 120 and 140 miles an hour and a sub 14 second 1/4 mile.
The absolute reliability is kind of like part of the machine now. I dare say the old original J2s wouldn't have that level of reliability.
This one's built like a Sherman tank. Nothing will go wrong with it. The J2s were renowned for blowing head gaskets in the side valve Ford motors. They used overheating, blowing diffs and gearboxes because they only used the Ford side valve engine and gearbox. The prices of some of the Hardy replicas were fetching in the States. I did understand that they were fetching up around about the $100,000 odd. Some were. The general price seems to be for the replicas about $60,000 to $80,000, which is a lot cheaper than an original, which some of them do bring up near $500,000.
If you can find one.
If you can find one, if you can find somebody that'll sell you one.
Yeah. How many do you reckon there are in the world?
The originals that are left is a little bit hard to tell because there's been quite an industry on making fake ones. Total production of J2 and J2Xs was only about 140 cars, and to be honest, there's probably twice that many circulating around the world at the moment.
That aren't fair dinkum.
Half of them wouldn't be fair dinkum. That's true.
The epithet of the what they call him, a scientific blacksmith. What do they call him now, really?
Everything was over-engineered. The basic mechanicals were quite simple because they used, in the start, they used Ford Pilot mechanicals. But to give you an idea on the saloon, the chassis alone weighs half a tonne. It is box girder style chassis. You'll never break them, although the wheelbase was that long. They used to flex quite viciously. But he just over-engineered everything, and plus he was very basic in his approach to things. It was more or less, if it didn't fit, get a bigger hammer. Or if you needed to make something, you'd make it twice as strong as you're likely to use. The cars themselves, well, there's one instance, Sydney was blind in one eye but used to race. He raced against Sterling Moss, things like that. He used to bounce off hills and roll down hills in his early, what they called mud plugging days, which were the trials, and they'd just roll the car back on the wheels and take off again.
Did he do much competition to others? He was famous for a couple of victories.
He was racing just about every week, sometimes 2 or 3 races each meeting. His main reason for starting the factory up was to finance his racing. He did everything from, he built a midget speedway racer all the way through to a twin-engine hill climb car. He was the English hill climb champion one year. He raced at Le Mans. He raced 8 times, I think, at the Monte Carlo Rally. He won it once.
In the M2?
No, that was, he raced a K originally, and then he raced the Ps. When he stopped making Allards, he went across to supercharged Anglia 105Es and ended up driving Ford Zephyrs in the Monte Carlo Rally for 2 years.
What sort of engine is in the Palm Beach?
The Palm Beach, you could buy them. My particular one has the 6-cylinder Zephyr motor in it with the Raymond Mays head, but you could buy them with the 4-cylinder Consul motors. They only sold about 5 of those because they wouldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding. They were very, very slow.
Where would they find a Raymond Mays head these days?
It's called a swap meet, and it's called about $5,000 will find you one.
Would you find one in Australia?
Occasionally, there's a few for sale in New Zealand, and you'd probably find quite a few in England. The Palm Beach I've got actually was used as a test bed for the Raymond Mays head because Raymond Mays was a racing friend of Sydney Allard.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, we've got pictures of Sydney Allard talking to Raymond Mays, haven't we?
Yeah, they were close friends. They did quite a lot of work together.
The car itself wasn't finished when it was published there.